So you want to know why? I mean, what is it that makes a man ride a motorcycle from Toronto to Timmins just to lay a coin at a dead hockey player's grave? Well, take a number and get in line. But FYI, I'm the guy at the front. The idea was just to ride as far north as I could past Cochrane, Ontario, ditch the bike somewhere, put on a set of snowshoes, and hike off into the bush in search of Bill Barilko and Henry Hudson's 1951 crash site. Really, how hard could it be? I mean, I've done way bigger trips than this before. Best laid plans, I guess. After loading up Agatha, my rusty, trusty two-wheel tin can of a motorcycle with a week's worth of trail mix and a 1916 first edition book of poems by Robert W. Service, I clenched my jaw and pointed north. Once I got to the sacred center ice of Maple Leaf Gardens, my stomach went all topsy-turvy on me from the excitement. I took the holy talisman out of my pocket and put it down on the ice, and I completely forgot about the physics of what happens when you take a warm coin and put it on cold ice. Damn near broke a nail. The first major stop of the trip is to meet up with Rex. He's the area's resident gearhead and vlogger extraordinaire who's done a lot of really good work promoting the power sports industry up here. He's one of those good old salt-of-the-earth northern boys. I can't help but marvel at this man's tenacity. Among other things, he's got arthritic hands and wrecked knees, yet still manages to ride, drive, pilot, or steer anything he can get his hands on with a spark plug. It was just a little too crisp the next day for Aggie to start up on her own, so I had to light a sterno can under her whirly bits. Yeah, those weren't butterflies in my stomach in Toronto. Turns out I had a bit of a tummy bug. But I did manage to hold it together long enough to meet with Chad over at Expedition Helicopters. He and I sat down and figured out a number of different possible routes to the crash site. And after we finally decided on what was probably the most snowshoe-friendly path, we shook hands and I was on my way thinking, geez, that's going to be the guy that's going to have to pull my frozen carcass out of the bush. Still have about 90 or so kilometers to go up to the top of a Tembec logging site before I ditch the bike and put on the snowshoes. I still feel like crap, but the excitement of being back in some of the most remote areas of northern Ontario helps to redirect my focus. You often hear people that partake of some off-the-wall adventure sport use the phrase, "It's a different world out here." I know, it's a tired, old, beat-up cliche, but damn if it doesn't fit. Every time I dropped into another bottomless hole, I became keenly aware of just how much sweat was running down my creaky old frame. It didn't take long for it to become abundantly clear that I was in way over my head. With the cold, dry sun sitting one tree above the horizon, it was time to make camp and boil water. Now, since I had the best sleeping bag $49 could buy, there was no reason for me to bring a tent. Don't you guess that the things we're seeing now will haunt us through all the years? Heaven and hell rolled into one, glory and blood and tears. Life's pattern picked with a scarlet thread, where once we wove with a gray, to remind us how we all played our part in the shock of an epic day. But looking at the map and the GPS, it didn't take me long to figure out I was going to need at least 6 days in the bush. And I just don't have that time. This isn't going to happen. The hike back to the logging camp was saturated with equal parts sweat and self-pity. Whenever I go off on one of my little eccentric adventures, I always start off with a chant in my head that sounds something like, "Shoot for the moon, but if you can't, settle for Mount Everest." It's a sentiment that's done well in the past to take the sting out of not achieving the odd pie-in-the-sky goal. But at the moment, while digging my extra gear out, it just sounds like cheeseball horse shit. I guess I could have thought this out better, but if I can't get to the crash site, I could at least make it to his grave. Once I'd made it to this thriving metropolis with finally calmed down gastrointestinal plumbing, I was hell-bent on normal people food. No more horse feed and tree moss flavored meltwater. I'm going out for steak. The snow depth and sheer size of the cemetery made it one of those needle haystack scenarios. By dumb luck, I caught the letter O at the end of a name above the snow. They were Bill's parents. Imagine for a minute you're William Barilko. You come from a poor family in a northern Ontario mining town, and you're just 24 years old. Tonight you're going to play in a Stanley Cup final game against the great Montreal Canadians. And you don't know this yet, but it's going to be you they hoist up onto their battered shoulders. You. You're going to kiss the girl and drink from the cup as an entire nation celebrates you. Until the bony hand of fate plucks you from the sky.
How clean the place is. Yeah, the sun is shining bright down here. I guess it started to snow up there. Well, Mom, Alec will be here with me for about a couple of days, and we're really going to have a good time. Hey, Al. Yeah, we sure are. Last night we played together, and they beat us 2-1, Mom. Bill knocked me down a couple of times, but I got back at him. Oh, now listen here. No, none of us got hurt, though. No, nobody gets hurt when we play together, Mom. Don't worry about that.
As I leave Timmins and head for home, my old arch-nemesis winter rain vexes me once more. It's not long before the plummeting thermometer and the increasing northwesterlies add insult to injury. My seat hardens into a solid block, which requires now and then I pull over to allow my testicles to descend back into their neatly shaped cup formed in my frozen underwear. Although Mr. Happy won't come out. Flittering thoughts of summer's yore and the sweet, warm kiss of sun on skin provided a temporary respite from the cold gray hell that was my current existence. Was it really so long ago that we sipped umbrella drinks on the deck as the waves lapped their gentle sunset lullaby? It was here that the friendly local constable's siren shocked me out of my hypothermic trance. At his insistence, I was given a double police escort to the nearest motel for my own safety. This did give me the opportunity to enjoy sketchy pizza with good scotch while I relived the events of this trip in my head.